Hello, I'm Jog, and welcome to episode 0 of my new series, Oxygen Not Included. So, for this episode 0, before we actually get into the actual game, I just want to talk about a few little things. First off is that this is going to be the base game of Oxygen Not Included, not including the DLC of Spaced Out. Simple reason being, I don't have the Spaced Out DLC, so that's not going to be a thing. As well as mods. I'm not using any mods. This is going to be completely vanilla. And I am a casual at this game. I have done things such as launch rockets all the way up as far as they can go, as well as created things that gave you a specific ending. I have plans in my mind about what I want to do with all this, but to do any of that, first off we need to go and create a world. We're going to go in survival, and we're going to just essentially pick the bare bones basic one with all other world types that we could go for, but I think going for the this one makes the most amount of sense. Now they're going here. We see the stunning asteroid is known as Terra, a promising location with a balanced variety of resources, meets all the requirements for Duplicant's life and holds no surprises. It is an ideal location for the first attempt at establishing a colony. That being said, I have been able to go and survive all the way out on an oasis. I've done that once. I have not tried any of the other ones, but for this, let's just start with the basic one. Now, as we go over here, we can see world traits. So different worlds are going to have different things. And, I thought this one had something to go with it. Because I do want something. But I don't want to go like Ocean. I don't want to go with any of the other ones. So, okay. This world is stable and has no unusual features. The world exists in a particularly stable configuration, and each time it is encountered. So we're not getting anything special, such as like magma channels or rich metals or geos or anything like that, unless we decide to go to another world, which is a bit of a shame. I would like that, but oh well. Another thing is story traits. I have actually not done this. This has actually been added since last time I played, so all of this is completely new to me, so that'll be something to actually look up when the time comes. As for coordinates, that is going to be a world seed, and I really don't have anything in mind, so we're just going to go with whatever this is. And we're going to start the game. And as this is going on, it's going to essentially be building the world. And so I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so the game just finished doing its thing, but before we actually move on to the world itself, we need to get ourselves some duplicants to begin. Now we can have them be completely random, or if we so wish we can look for someone specific. For what I have in mind, I have 3 things in mind. I'm thinking I want a digger, a researcher, and a rancher. And probably have one of them also being a builder. So I want one of them to be rancher. So there we go. We can see he has ranching, but he also has operating. But he also only has a +4 to his skills compared to this guy who is a builder at +8. If we roll again, we can try to get some different things. As we see right here, this person has 3 interests, but he only gets a +1. So the more interests that they got, the less skill they are. So they become a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Or a master of one thing, but terrible in everything else. I say terrible, but it's, like, air quotes, terrible. And we also see some things such as traits, like this guy actually starts off with a skill, that being hard digging. That's actually not a bad one to have to start things off. He is anemic, so he is actually a little bit slower, which is a bit of an annoyance, but I mean, athletic is something that he can gain over time. And, well, we can see a couple other things that go on underneath. We see stress reaction. If they get too stressed, they can do certain things, such as this one being destructive, meaning that he can, well, he will not repair buildings while he is above 60% stress, and I think that also means he might destroy stuff. I don't know. I usually don't ever try to get their stress up that high. However, if we have their stress very low, they can do some things when they are overjoyed. Some things are better than others, and others things don't really feel all that much of a problem. So right now, I'm going to be going forth and trying to find the 3 duplicants that I want, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, I think I got the 3 duplicants that I want. I got myself a digger and builder. Not the best you usually have on one duplicant, but from what I have going, what I have in mind at the start, I think it should be fine. Our second duplicant is a researcher who also has an interest in suit wearing. Again, this is something that we're not going to be worried about for a long time, but these two do go very well with each other. And the last one is a rancher as well as being a builder. So I will have two builders. Ranching is something I definitely want, although it's not going to be useful to me at the very beginning, which we'll deal with later on. Also, this guy starts with tier 1 digging, which... okay, it is what it is. Not great, but I'm not going to go crying over it. Now, before I actually hit embark, I want to do a couple of things, such as rename the colony and rename my duplicants. So... okay, so I want to see this new world of ours being sort of like a canvas. As such, the name of this colony is going to be called Palette, with our 3 starting duplicants being cyan, magenta, and yellow. With all this set, let's embark. So right off the bat, alert! I have awoken at the target location, but colonization efforts have already hit a hitch. I was supposed to land on the planet's surface, but I became trapped many miles underground instead. Although the conditions are not ideal, it is imperative that I establish a colony here and begin mounting efforts to escape. So with that, the game begins. As soon as I hit the button, apparently. So, if we scroll out a little bit, we can see a bunch of little things. A lot of stuff that may not make much sense right now, but we will deal with all of this next time, as this is not... as all this will be for part of the first true episode. Before we move on, I just want to go over to our printing pod over here in the middle. I want to go over to Colony Summary, because I wanted to go over this. So these are achievements, and I have gotten many of the achievements, but I've never gotten all of the achievements, and I want to try and do that. Now, some of these are easy. Turn the century is reach 100, the 100th cycle is 1 living duplicant, launch your first rocket into space, pay the bills. So, there are some easy ones, but there are 3 of them that come to my mind that are rather difficult, if not annoying, to get. So first off, the easiest, well, I would say the second easiest of the 3 is called Locavore. We have to have a duplicant in total consume 400,000 calories of food without having any planter boxes, farm tiles, or hydroponics. That one's a little bit annoying. However, we don't have a time limit on it, so we don't have to, so I'm not too worried about it. However, the most difficult one, and I would say the most annoying, is probably going to be Carnivore, which is kind of the same thing as Locavore, but you have to have your duplicants eat meat. 400,000 calories of critter meat before the 100th cycle. Now, that one gets annoying in part because it kind of just gets to a point where I'm just, like, focusing on ranching. That's why I want a rancher, like Yellow. So I'm spending all my time just on critters and eggs and getting new ones and cooking meat up and blah, 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 blah. So Carnivore is going to be the most annoying one to get. Now, the easiest one, honestly it might be titled Locavore, is called Super Sustainable. After you click on it, it wants us to generate 240,000 kilojoules of power without using a coal, natural gas, petroleum, or wood generator. That leaves us with only a few options. That leaves us with a hamster wheel to run on and generate power, steam turbines, which we have to research, and hydrogen generators, which again we have to research. So, yeah, we won't be able to use a lot of the power in this game until after we generate that 240,000, but once we do that, it's ours. Everything else, as far as I know, shouldn't be too difficult, even though I haven't gotten all of them. Like, if you get those 3, I think you're fine with everything else, because everything else I think is just more or less just dealing with things as they come. So, before we leave, I also want to just point out that I want to try and use everything that I can that is going to be available to me. I guess maybe not to, like, its max, but I definitely want to try and use everything. Like, this little guy up here, I want to try and do stuff with these critters. I want to try and do things with other critters that we're going to find out throughout the map. If we find vents or geysers, I want to try and use every single one of them in some way, shape, or form. That is my, quote, goal alongside all the achievements. Also, before I forget, of the achievements, we have 2 of them right here, the 2 big ones. Home Sweet Home, which is survive 200 cycles, 16 morale, have 12 duplicants, and build a great monument. And The Great Escape, breach the temporal tear. These will be the big ones, and honestly, I'll probably get to these two before I actually finish everything else in the colony summary. But yes, I think that is everything I want to talk about for now. So next time, we'll actually be starting off on the settlement, I guess, of Pallet. So until then, so long, farewell. Alright, actually, before we actually end things off, let's just quickly look over what exactly were those story details that I kind of skipped over. So, story traits. The first one we got is the Somnium Synthesizer? Power up a colossal relic from the Gravitas Underground Sleep Lab. When duplicants sleep, their minds are blissfully blank and dream-free. But under the right conditions, things could be different. Alright. Next one is Critterflux-O-Matic. Explore a revolutionary genetic manipulation device designed for critters. Whether or not it was ever used on non-critter subjects is unclear, but its DNA database has been wiped clean. Okay. So this essentially lets pawns have dreams, whatever that's good for. This one seems to turn one critter into a different variety of it. Mysterious Hermit. This one I know a little bit about. Discover a reclusive character living in the Gravitas Relic, and persuade them to join the colony. Revelations from their past could have far-reaching implications for duplicants everywhere. Even their makeshift shelter might be of some use. Alright. So yeah, that is essentially a free pawn if you decide to try and actually get them to join. And this one. Ancient Specimens. The asteroid has had a few skeletons in its geological closet. Tracking down the fossil fragments of the ancient critter to assemble key pieces of Gravitas history and unlock a new resource. Ooh. So that should be interesting. Honestly, this one in the critter one seems like the most interesting one to me. The helmet seems like I could take it or leave it, and the dream one, I'm assuming if anything this might lower, yeah, it might lower stress, but, okay. We'll deal with that at a later time. So, until next time, so long, farewell, and, well, when we come back, we'll be starting off in Pallet. Have fun!